Hey everybody, welcome to the GMG review. Today we're taking a look at the Thousand Suns release from Games Workshop, which includes some new miniatures in the form of these cool robots right here, some data sheets, which come in the cool sort of like larger, I think this is postcard size, like 4x6. And then the codex, which I actually don't have a physical copy of, so you'll have to bear with me a little bit because I'll be using the cards to do most of the review today, and going a little bit light on the detachment overviews as I don't have a physical codex to review, but I do have a digital one that I can't show in a video on a camera, so we're not doing that. And yeah, and what is this? Well, if you've been following along with the Death Guard and World Leaders releases, as well as the Emperor's Children release, this is the kind of fourth in the Battleforce size boxes from Workshop. It's a significant number of points, and it reflects a sort of like, I think the intent is you add this to a combat patrol to get a roughly 1,500 point army, and it's sort of like a good introduction to Warhammer 40,000. It's 290 bucks Canadian. Goes on pre-order today, Saturday, May 17th, I believe. May the 17th be with you. So yeah, let's have a look at these guys. What do we get in the box? Well, we're going to get some Terminators, we're going to get some Rubric Marines, we're going to get 3 Sorcerers, an Exalted on disc, Exalted on foot, and just a basic Sorcerer. You can tell he's not as cool because he couldn't afford extra armor for his weird Gene Stealer hand. And so yeah, with the Scarab Occult, the big unit of Rubric Marines, and then these new guys, the Sekitar Robots. I think it's pronounced Sekitar. I don't know, these are all made up words. Who can be armed in like 2 different configurations. There's a melt-a-gun toting configuration that's kind of the shooting one, and then a light flamethrower power fist configuration, which you can see right here, which is the fighty up closey one. They all have the big cool warp cannon, and they're supposed to be like a, I don't know, a Zinchian AI, so Grok 40.0. For 40,000.0, running around doing their murder thing. And yeah, gives you some battle line, gives you some elites, gives you, I believe these are heavy support choices. And then a combat patrol, of course, which includes a big boy. We got Zadafon, the Soul Eater, who's a Demon Prince. Kasrek, who is a big old, like an Exalted on disc, not Anointed on disc, whatever the guys are, the Zangor Shamans on discs. We have Rubric Marines, so you have a second unit of them, and then some Enlightened with the spears. The bows are better though, and they're very cheap. So interesting combat patrol. It does have a lot of models in it, and on top of that, of course, having a Demon Prince, who is a big point value model, he's a 200 point-ish model. You have a pretty serious chunk of points right here. I believe between these 3 units, it's about 600 points, and then you have roughly 900 points in this box, which is, you know, going to give you that 1,500-ish when you're adding in enhancements and stuff like that on top of it. So a pretty decent start to an army. Of course, you do need the codex on top of that if you want to use the apps from the App Store for your army building. And as with all things Games Workshop, you never know about the point values because they can change during balance updates all the time. So let's have a look at some detachments. Now, there are 5 detachments in this book. They vary from the Grand Coven, which is the original one. It zhuzhes up their new army rule through into like one based on the robots, one based on the mutants, one based on the sort of like the Scarab Occult, the All is Dust. So the power armor guys, the Rubric Afflicted Space Marines who don't have bodies anymore. They're just dust inside their animated armor. And I think that's it. So the Cabal, yeah, Cabal, the mutants, the All is Dust. The Demons, the Shimmering Legion is the last one, because all of these books so far have given you a way to play the Demonic Legions, but as a subset detachment of the Chaos Space Marines. It does feel like demons in general as an army in Warhammer 40,000 aren't going to be a thing anymore, and they're going to be this little subset of the various Chaos armies they can play in. So, I mean, could be wrong, who knows, maybe they'll stay, but it does feel like they're being kind of marginalized a little bit. All of these feed a bit into the Cabal of Sorcerers special rule, which is that you have Cabal of Sorcerers, anyone with this rule, which is typically a Sorcerer, the Demon Princes, of course, Magnus obviously is part of the Cabal Sorcerers, they can do rituals. If your army is 1,000 Suns, at the start of your shooting phase, one or more models from your army can attempt to do a ritual from those listed on the right. There's 4 of them. They're psychic powers. To do so, select a model that hasn't attempted to do it yet, roll a 2d6 roll, try and beat the warp charge score, and if you do so, then the eliminated or the actual effect here. You can channel the warp as a choice, and if you do that though, if you roll any doubles or triples in your dice roll, you take D3 mortal wounds, and then you see what happens. If the model is not destroyed, the combined total of all the dice during the test is like test results. So if you're trying to get this hard 9, you could roll the extra dice and risk rolling a double or triple and taking that chunk of mortal wounds. We got 4 powers. We got Destiny's Ruin. It's not to be confused with Destiny's Child. Select one enemy unit within 24 invisible until the end of your phase. Each time 1,000 suns model from your army makes an attack, the target's it. Reroll hit rolls a 1. On 10 plus, you can reroll all the hits. Temporal Surge. Move D6, pick it from the unit. Within 24, invisible, move D6. If the psychic test is 10 plus, move a 6, and they can't charge afterwards. Doombolt, warp charge is 7. Select one enemy unit within 24, invisible. To the manifesting model, excluding units with the lone operative ability that aren't part of the attached unit, so and aren't within 12. You can target them if they're within 12, but otherwise you can't. Take D3 mortal wounds. On an 11 plus, take D3 plus 3 mortal wounds. And then Twist of Fate, select an enemy unit within 24 invisible until the end of the phase. Each time 1,000 suns model from your army makes an attack that targets that unit. If its AP is 1, if the psych test, improve its the AP of that characteristic the attack by 1. If it's a 12 plus, improve by 2 instead. So you can basically make your guns more durable at penetrating things. And then Pact of Sorcery, can't use Scintillating Legions as your army faction, but of course there's a detachment that allows it to be included later on. And let's talk about those detachments. Again, I don't have a physical copy of the codex, so I'm just going to get into the detachment rules. Obviously, the strats and stuff are fun and will add up to things, but other people that can show that thing on camera will do it instead of me. You get just Kindred Sorcery for the Grand Coven now, and that, of course, feeds into these Cabal of Sorcerers. So they add 6 to the range of the psychic weapons in the army. So, like, let's say Aramon's psychic attack, which is his Gaze of Magnus, it'd be a 30-inch range instead of a 24-inch range. Psychic Maelstrom, every time 1,000 suns model from your army makes an attack with a psychic weapon, add 1 to the wound roll. And Wrath of the Abatarium, psychic weapons equipped by 1,000 suns from your army have devastating wounds. These are basically battle tactics or the Oaths of the Moment. No, the doctrines for Space Marines. Each one can be picked once per game. You can't pick the same one more than once. So 3 times per game, you get one of those 3 abilities. So first turn, you use the extra range. Second turn, you get the +1 to wound. Third turn, you can give them devastating wounds. You might want to do devastating wounds first, even if you've got like massive amounts of shots, because of course attrition, losing models might take that down. Then you got your enhancements and strats, but again, I'm not going to get too into that. The Change Host of Deceit. This is the one where you get your Scintillating Legions, so you can include them in your army, even though they don't gain the 1,000 Suns keyword. They get Demonic Illusion, a friendly 1,000 Sun Psyker within 6 invisible to this unit. A model in the unit has a 4+ invulnerable save against range attacks. So if you're standing next to any of the demon units within 6, you get a 4+ psychic save, basically, because the demons are like, whoa, the colors. And then 1,000 Suns units gain the following aura: Mortal Sorcery. When a friendly Scintillating Legions Psyker unit is within 6 invisible to this unit, and that Scintillating Legions unit has the Cabal of Sorcerers ability. So basically all of your demon units gain Cabal of Sorcerers to represent the fact that they're obviously all demons. And can use psychic powers. The amount is in Incursion, 500 points can be demons. In Strike Force, 1,000. In Onslaught, 1,500. So half your army can be made up of demons if you take this detachment. We've got the Warp Meld Pact. This is the one for all of the Zangors, and it has a Warp Meld Sacrifice. So basically you can sacrifice guys either offensively or defensively. If you do it defensively, you take D3 mortal wounds, and then you can be -1 to wound if someone's attacking you. If you're attacking, you can get +1 to the wound roll by taking D3 mortal wounds as well. And then all your Zangors gain the Battle Line keyword, and while such unit's not battle shocked, add 1 to its OC, basically in that unit, so of the Zangors themselves. Then we have our Rubrique Phalanx. This is the All Is Dust. Each time attack from unmodified damage characteristic of 1 is allocated to a Rubrique model in the army. Add 1 to the armor saves made from that attack. So basically the Scarecrow Cult Terminators, the Rubric Marines, I'm not sure who else is Rubrique in this. Probably literally the Psykers aren't, because they're so mutated. They're the ones that didn't get affected. It was always the regular Marines that were. So I think the Scarecrow Cult are. The robots aren't. Yeah, the robots don't get it. Scarab Cult do, and I'm assuming just the Marines, Rubric Marines. Yeah, just them. So if you lean into those guys, then you'll gain the benefit of that one. And then we have the robots, which is the Warp Forged Cabal. They get Warp Fire Infusion. Every time 1,000 Suns vehicle unit from your army is selected to shoot or fight, apply 1 of the following when resolving their attack. So that vehicle unit's within 6 of 1 or more friendly Psykers. And you reroll 1 hit roll, 1 wound roll, and 1 damage roll. Otherwise, reroll one of them. So it's either they're rerolling one of those things or all of them once if you're next to a psyker. So neat, they're better. And each time a 1,000 Suns vehicle model from your army has deadly demise, on a 5+ it goes off instead of a 6 if they're within 6 of a psyker, because they can make them explode. And of course, the Sector robots are vehicles, which means they will get all of that. They'll get to blow up, and they get the bonus rerolls. So multiple little units of these guys would maximize that, and you can take them in units of 2. So I think that might be real popular. Of course, tournament rules do mean that typically you can't take more than 4 of any one thing. 2 of any one thing, or 4 if it's not battle line. And that's it for the various detachments. Now, the Warforged Cabal has some kind of interesting strats. I will focus on this because the models are in here. They get hex-marked armor when your opponent's shooting phase or fight phase. Just after an enemy has been selected as a target, select the vehicle unit from your army that was selected as the attack, and you get to worsen the AP of the attack by 1. Mutate the landscape, pick a 1,000 Sun Psyker in your command phase that's within range of an objective marker that you control, and it becomes sticky and mutated and remains under your control. Anytime an enemy unit makes a normal advance, fallback, or charge move within range of the objective marker, roll a d6 on a 4+. They take d3 mortal wounds because it has mouths growing on it now. Cyber Spirit Machinations, this is for your 1,000 Suns vehicles. You're in your movement phase just after they fell back. The vehicle unit and 1 friendly 1,000 Sun Psyker within 6 of that vehicle unit. At the end of the turn, your vehicle unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge in the turn that it fell back. So if you're within range of Psykers, these guys become really mobile because they can leave combat and still shoot all their guns. And because they're primarily a shooting unit, that's a pretty powerful strat. And I should mention all of these are 1 CP. There's no 2 CP ones here. Malevolent Animus in your command phase, 1,000 Suns vehicle unit from your army, within 6 of 1 or more friendly 1,000 Suns Psyker units. The effect is until the end of your next command phase. Your vehicle unit is malevolent. That's a malevolent MC. When a unit is malevolent, it can ignore any or all modifiers to the following profile characteristics: its weapon skill, ballistic skill characteristics, or weapons equipped by the models. Any roll to test that's made for it, including modifiers for saving throws. So basically, your vehicles become more reliable. And it ignores all those modifiers. So like if it had to make a battle shock test or whatever. Ensorcelled Infusion, you can put the good warp gas in there. In your shooting phase, 1,000 Suns vehicle unit from your army that's within 6 of a Psyker. Until the end of your phase, ranged weapons have the Psychic ability, and each time an attack is made with such a weapon, add 1 of the wound roll. So that's pretty cool. It's not combined with the. Oh, I guess you could combine it with. No, it's not going to give it devastating. It's only the Cabal that can gain the devastating one. That'd be cool if you could make all of your, heavy bolter rounds on a bang bang tank into devastating wounds. And then Warflame Gargoyles. In your opponent's charge phase, after you get charged, one of your vehicles that was charged for rolled 66, and every 5+ take a mortal wound, and then take a battle shock test because all the little gargoyle heads on your vehicle start shooting fire. So yeah, that one's interesting. I mean, it's all to do with vehicles. The Rubrique one. Also interesting, you get the Ardent Automata in your movement phase just after you fell back with rubrics. They can still shoot and charge. Inexorable Advance in your rubric in your army. Until the end of your turn, your unit can ignore any or all modifiers to its move characteristic and do advanced rolls made for it, and range weapons gain the assault rule. Infernal Fusillade, 1,000 Sun Psyker unit from your army that hasn't been selected yet to shoot or fight until the end of your phase. All Inferno Bolts, Pistol Bolts, Inferno Bolt Guns, Inferno Combi Bolters. Combi weapons gain the Psychic and a strength of 5. So basically the wizard inside the Rubrique unit does this one. Revenge of the Rubrique, I just love that name. Your opponent's shooting phase just after a 1,000 Sun Psyker model from your army is destroyed. 1 Rubrique unit from your army that was within 6 of the Psyker when it was destroyed, and after the attack unit is shot, your Rubrique can then shoot at your shooting phase. You get to shoot back. Implacable Guardians, your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy has been selected as targets. 1 Rubric Marine Psyker from your army that was selected as the target of 1 or more of its attacks. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack is allocated to the model in your unit, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic. And then finally, Unwavering Phalanx in your opponent's charge phase. After they get charged, a Rubric unit can be -1 to wound. And again, these are all 1 CP except for Implacable Guardians. The -1 damage one is, of course, a little bit higher. And Infernal Fusillade, because the damaging one's a little bit higher for all your bolt guns. So, like I said, all of these, the Demonic Legion one, obviously, and then leaning into Rubrique or leaning into vehicles and robots, just giving you ways to kind of like tweak what you take in your army. Magnus, of course, gets Cabal of Sorcerers because that's his new faction power. And he gets all of his Crimson King powers. Aramon getting Cabal of Sorcerers. Gets his Scryer of Fates. I know people that know much more about this, you know, like core noob sets of abilities. But the Infernal Master also with Cabal of Sorcerers. The Sorcerer, obviously, with Cabal of Sorcerers, as are the 2 Exalted Sorcerers that come in this box. And everyone has some kind of psychic weapon, right? Like, there's nobody here that doesn't have a psychic gun or a psychic melee. The Demon Prince, he gets Cabal of Sorcerers, of course. He's Deadly Demise D3. He gets Servile Pawns while he's within 3 of 1 or more friendly Thousand Suns infantry. This model has the Lone Operative ability. I love that he just hides amongst the little guys, doesn't have to join the unit. And then Split Snare. Each time a friendly Thousand Sun Psyker model with the Cabal of Sorcerers ability is destroyed while within 9 of 1 or more models with this ability. Select one of those models until the end of the battle. Each time a selected model attempts a ritual, add 1 to the roll. So this guy basically soaks up the souls of other Psykers to get more powerful. And then Glamour of Tzeentch, while friendly Thousand Sun infantry units within 6, they get Stealth. So he's going to get Lone Operative, and someone within 6 gets -1 to hit. Get him with Wings, gains a different set of abilities, gets Hunter of Souls. Each time the model makes an attack that targets a character unit, reroll a hit roll of 1 and a wound roll of 1. If the attack targets psychic character units, you can reroll the hit roll and the wound roll instead, so he's hunting Psykers. I like he's got a bird head too. Each time the model destroys a character unit, this model regains D3 lost wounds or 3 if it's a Psyker. And then Aether Strike, he can Deep Strike and explode things. Sorcerer, basic dude in Terminator armor. I like that his Gaze of Hate. It's just the eyeball on his staff looking at people. Let's check out these cool Sector robots. I mean, they're vehicles, 8-inch move, toughness 6. I wish their toughness was higher. They have the same toughness as Terminators. I feel like they should be toughness 7 at least. You know what I mean? Like the Terminators are toughness 5. Oh, sorry, I guess Terminators are toughness 5, not toughness 6. I'm thinking of, who am I thinking of as toughness 6 Terminators? Maybe it's the Death Guard I was thinking of that were toughness 6. Either way, 6 seems low. I think 7 would be good. Save 3+, why not a 2+ save the robots and a 5+ invul? Terminators are tougher than these guys. And then 4 wounds each, a 7+ leadership and 1 OC. Their guns are pretty great though. Ignore Cover Torrent on their 5 -2 damage 1 flamethrower, because they've got D6 shots. Hellfire Missile Rack, 36-inch range, 2 shots, 4+, strength 10, -2, 3 damage. So a great reach out and touch you gun. Remember, they can also get the ability to reroll things because they're vehicle units if you take their detachment. The Powerflex Melt-A-Gun, hey, it's a Melt-A-Gun, and you can exchange it for the Warp Flame Projector, which is just a little baby flamer at 12-inch range, an extra D3 shots. Still -1 AP. And then finally, the Close Combat Weapon, which is just a strength 5, no AP 1 damage attack, can be traded for the Power Claw if you take that flamer. And it's 3 attacks, 4+, strength 10, -2 and 2 damage. Any number of models can do it. They have infiltrators and they automatically have baked in stealth, so you might as well shoot them. And then Prophetic Sentinels, once per battle round, you can target this unit with the Fire Overwatch or Heroic Intervention stratagem for 0 CPs. So the fact that once per battle round, these guys get to do a free Fire Overwatch is pretty cool. That does actually, I think, make it better to do multiple small units though, because it's I guess it's once per battle round, and it's an ability that they all have. So no matter how many units you took, I thought if you took more than 1 unit, they could do it multiple times. So each unit of 2 could do it once per battle round, if that makes sense. But they couldn't do it in the same turn. So you can do it in your opponent's, you can only do it in your opponent's turn anyway, because it's Fire Overwatch. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It would lock itself out no matter what, because you're doing it once per turn. And it's 2 to 4 robots, and they have all the guns. Our Scarab, what you call it, Terminators with their 5-inch move, right? 2+, 4+, 3 wounds. The boss has 4, and he is, of course, a Sorcerer, which gets the Psyker keyword. Sorcerer has the Cabal of Sorcerers rule, so you can cast all the rituals. And then Rites of Coalescence. Well, this unit contains 1 or more Psyker models. You're -1 to wound them, because he's blasting out a force field, which is very cool. Because the Sorcerer's alive, and the rest of these guys are ghosts. Like the Rubric Marines, who have 2 wounds, some is 4. And their abilities is Bringer of Change. Each time a model in this unit makes a ranged attack, reroll a wound roll of 1. If they target you on an objective marker, reroll the wound instead. And the Icon of Flame gives you Ignore Cover. Hey, it's a Predator. It gets ensorcelled destruction, though. Each time this model makes a ranged attack that targets a unit, excluding monsters and vehicles, that was hit by one or more psychic attacks this turn, improve its strength and AP by 1. So it's a setup, right? If you're really trying to decimate a unit, you do the setup with psychic power, and then you shoot it with guns. Annihilator, a sorcelled annihilation. Same thing, but you reroll the hit roll and the damage roll. But this one's against monsters and vehicles, so obviously the Destructor is against infantry, the other one's the other way around. You're running to get Sorcerer's support. In your shooting phase, after this model is shot, select one enemy unit hit by one or more of its attacks. Until the end of the phase, you summon a friendly model that's disembarked from this transport. This turn makes a psychic attack that targets them, add one to the hit roll and one to the wound roll. And then your Chaos Vindicator, which just gets a siege shield, so no special Tzeentch thing. Apparently they don't like Vindicators. They don't like Land Raiders either. Hellbrutes also don't get any special Tzeentchian upgrades. Forge Fiends don't either. Mauler Fiends don't either. Defilers don't either. Oh, Destroyer of Futures, actually. Sorry, they do. Each time you target a unit with the Fire Overwatch stratagem, hits are scored on a 5+ when resolving it. For each of those attacks that targets an enemy unit within 9 or more of a Psyker, you get a hit on a 4+ instead. So if someone comes near your Psychers, these guys blow them out of the water with their D3+3 Strength 10, 3 damage shots. Helldrakes, Flame Wreathed, no additional thing because I'm pretty sure they're all Flame Wreathed. Spawns, they get to regenerate. And we're into the Zangors. The Shamans get Cabal of Sorcerers, which is cool. The Enlightened get Prophecy Doom. The Enlightened with Great Bows, who are fantastic, get Malign Trickery once per turn. When an enemy unit ends a normal advance or fallback, you can move within 9. If this unit's not within engagement range, you can move D6. And they're very cheap. Basic Zangors. Beatliths, because of course that guy gets to stay in the game. And then we're into the Demons. Kairos, the Lord of Change, the Flamers, the Screamers. Pink Horrors and Blue Horrors, all pretty standard for the current indexes that are on the app. So there it is, a look at mostly just the datasheet cards in the box set, although I did try and give you guys a taste of what's in the physical codex itself coming out this week. So I gotta say, I like this treatment for 40k armies for an edition. I really wish this, I mean, I get that they have to save them up. We've kind of gotten chaos all the way through at the end of the edition cycle, but I like this box set style. And I like the release of like Codex collectible style army box. You're looking at about $400 Canadian all in for this like 1, 2, 3 of the cards. I probably wouldn't get the cards. I'd probably just use the app. But the cards, the box, and the Codex would be that way. $350 for just the Codex and the or $360 for the Codex and the thing. So like 400 with tax. Which is not bad for about a 1,000-point game. You can play Incursion pretty comfortably with this. I think it's very close, probably about 800 and change points. So like a single other unit. Or if you have the Combat Patrol, or even just like a vehicle, you get them a Rhino or something to ride around in. You get to that 1,000 points pretty fast. And playing 40k at Incursion level, my favorite way to play, for under $1,000 feels like it's quite the trick these days. So thanks for Workshop sending this along for me to review, and for you guys for watching. We'll see you next time. Till then, I'm Ash.